What's good, everybody? Welcome to Whole Views. Thank you for clicking that thumbnail. My name is Corey, and today we're going to be talking about Rebel Moon Part 2. So Part 2 of Rebel Moon is out. It's a Netflix release. I like that because you are able to go back and watch the first one, get like really refreshed on it, and then watch the second one. And I will say that that process does no favors for this duo of films. On my rating scale, in my rating system, I put the first Rebel Moon Part 1 as good. This part 2 is only all right to me, and it is because you have the tale of two films. In the first part of this film is just at 2 hours. So the first hour is very, very undeserved emotional stuff throughout the first half. Then the back half of the movie, the entire last hour, is almost non-stop trademark Zack Snyder-esque action. And I really enjoy the second half of this. And the second half really feels good to just watch it all unfold. I like the fact that they came up with a plan. It didn't feel totally unbelievable. It was kind of feasible that they underestimated their opponents, and then they went in and they had some expertise and a wee bit of training. All those things lent itself to making that back half believable and fun and just a little action-packed thrill ride on the back half. But that first half, though, really, really, really stood out as feeling as undeserved. It was the only word that I could use to talk about that first part of the movie. Without giving any spoilers away, I just want to be clear that you watch the first one and the second one picks up right where the first one ended. And you would think that these characters have way, way, way more time together than what you see unfold based on some of the emotional stuff that Zack and his writing team tries to do with the first half of part 2. I think it's very important to make that clear distinction as well. Like, there aren't any real bad performances here. It's really just bad writing and editing on display. I just feel like they talk about characters in such a glowing way that there's no way that y'all had all this time to interact because you wrote things to be a certain way. Like, y'all had 3 days together before the battle starts. And so where does all this emotion come from if y'all working nonstop for 3 days in training? It just doesn't seem to make sense to me. There was only one character that I feel like really went on an arc throughout this film. Everyone else just kind of was there and had their moments and said the part of their stories, but no one feel like they journeyed from being one way in the beginning to a different way by the end. If I had any other complaints to levy against the film, I think it would be the same as I said in the first one. It's a action, adventure, sci-fi type franchise, but at the same time, it's presented as incredibly serious and Shakespearean. And I think you're missing it when you do that. And so that's Zack, man. That's what we get with Zack Snyder. There's already been talk of in August of 2024, there's going to be the director's cut. That's supposedly both movies put together, super long, R-rated, bloody, gory, gruesome. And it's like, okay, I see that you want to do that. I'm fine with that, but just put it together good the first time. That's the same way I felt when I watched part 1. Here, you can also see moments where I bet if this was rated R, we would see different things. Specifically towards the end, I think in that action-packed ending, in that last hour, you will see a lot more blood and guts and gore. And that makes sense, but at the same time, just do the best job you can the first time around so we don't have to come back around and look at another version of this in a few months. Those are my thoughts on Rebel Moon Part 2. Again, it was all right. It's something to put on in the background. The first one I feel like was better and set things up to be epic. And then we had to sit through an hour of undeserved emotion. And then we get epic on the back end. So let me know your thoughts on it if you feel differently or if you feel the same. I'd love to hear from you. And that's all we got for this one, y'all. Enjoy yourself, guard your heart, and go watch something good.